Hi. So today I'm gonna talk about anger, and if you happen to be live on this video, do comment in the video and say hi because I can't really see who is on the live. Let me see if I can check the comments on my laptop. So if you can hear me, you know that I'm live. And okay, yes, okay, I'm live on Facebook. So if you happen to be live on this video, do comment, say hi. Today I'm going to share about what is anger. Okay, so why do I want to share this video? Share in this video about anger is because today I read a quote by Aristotle. He is actually a Greek philosopher, and what he says about anger is, let me read the quote, it's quite long. So what he said about anger is, anybody can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, and at the right time, for the right purpose, in the right way, that is not within everybody's power. And it is not easy, right? So this is a quote by Aristotle. And when I read this quote, I'm very inspired because all along I actually see anger as something that's negative. I've always avoided it. And because of this quote, I actually revisited this emotion, anger, and it's something that I seldom talk about. So when I was reflecting on my experience with anger, I actually saw that I was having a lot of underlying emotions behind anger. Okay, so what maybe you guys can share with me, what is your experience with anger, and as well as in relationships, how has anger actually affected your relationships? So share with me your experience in the comments below. Okay, and right now, okay, so maybe I can elaborate a bit more on what is anger. Okay, so the emotion on anger is such, it can be in a very broad spectrum in terms of the degree of anger that you feel. It can be a slight irritation. Actually, I read on some articles that they say even boredom, or even like feeling bored is actually a form of anger because of the irritation, right? So from boredom, slight irritation, to being triggered or agitated about a certain issue, to actually even having feelings of resentment or like hatred, okay, or rage. Okay, all these are the different degrees of what anger is. And if it's irritation or being triggered, you actually will have a form of retaliation. Like you will actually be speaking in the energy. It can be felt in your words, it can be felt in your actions, and you're seen in your actions and your energy, that you're very having a very strong emotion about something. Or even in resentment or rage, you can actually be very violent. So this is the spectrum of anger, and it depends on where you are, how you are feeling at that point in time. And actually it can affect your mood in a day. It can affect your health in a long time, in a long period of time. If you don't actually look at what is causing your anger, you can actually have headaches, migraines, and some even led to heart disease, right? Or even permanent pain that you feel in your body, or irritation in your digestive system. There's a lot of things that actually can cause your body suffer because of the anger that you're constantly feeling. So that is why I want to talk about anger today, because I actually recognize and see the people around me that suffer in health due to anger, due to frustration. Okay, so in relationships, yeah, comment below on what is your experience up in anger in relationships, right? How does it affect you towards the feeling of another person? It can be your family, a friend, or your lover, right? How does it affect you and what is your relationship with anger in relationships? Okay, so for me, when I'm feeling angry, because I don't like to be expressing myself in such a negative way, so I tend to avoid anger. And when I avoid anger, it becomes a very passive, they say it's a passive aggressive behavior. Okay, so what happens in a passive aggressive behavior is when I would actually be avoiding conversations, I would not be cooperative, I would be very quiet, but you can see that I'm brewing inside, right? I'm not happy about something. And over time, I would actually be having behaviors of blaming, of yeah, basically this doesn't work in any kind of relationship, right? Think about it, be it at work with my coworkers or my bosses, like having the behaviors of passive aggressive won't actually get things done. And in a relationship at home, there isn't passive aggressive will actually be I'll be quiet, so there isn't much communication going on, and over time the relationship actually takes a toll, right? So this is what happened when I'm experiencing anger, but I don't look at what is causing my anger, and I refuse to look at it because it will only come into confrontation, and because of confrontation is very difficult to it's very difficult for me to be looking at these emotions. Okay, so over time I actually don't care about how I feel, don't care about how others feel. I actually avoided the whole negative emotion altogether, like be it irritation, frustration, or even real anger. Or I I will only express up to a point where it is an outburst. Okay, I couldn't contain it anymore, and then there will be an outburst, and there will be violent conversations, right? Then there will be like slamming of tables and you know um, hitting of things, so it will become violent, something like that. And that is my experience with anger, and it shouldn't be that way. Okay, because avoidance actually cause issues, underlying issues that happen over and over again, but without coming up with a good solution. So looking at relationship now, I hope you guys have actually put in some thought about how anger has actually affected you and your relationship. Put it in the comments below. Okay, so because I want to be looking at what you are going through in your relationships, because this is where I want to be helping you. Okay, in your personal relationships, in family, right? It can be within your family members, your siblings, or your parents. What kind of incidents that occur over and over again that irritates you, that always bring up conflicts, that always bring up tough conversations, and you guys are always quarreling about, okay, or having disagreement about? Write them in the comments, because we are if you write them in, I will be looking at it and we can be working on them together. Okay, so comment below on what is it. And in terms of relationships, so why is there anger issues? Okay, it could be a problem that you guys cannot find a solution, you cannot find a common ground, and because of that you cannot find a solution or common ground. It will happen over and over and over again, right? Like the disagreement, the arguments, things like that, it will always happen again, because over again, because you guys are standing on different sides of the issue. Like there is no common ground, you cannot come to a consensus, okay, cannot come into an agreement, and that's why it is like it's causing the anger in you over and over again. Okay, and because both of you are not hearing each other out, it's either one person has to compromise about why do you want to do that? Okay, so in a relationship, I would say, why is there causes of anger? Hi Sean, thanks for coming on to the live. So why is there issues that's causing anger in relationships? Okay, it's most of the time it is because of two main reasons. The first one is because you are not able to control the outcome of the result that is happening in the relationship. Okay, it may be because um, there is no consensus or agreement coming to it before this thing happened, right? So anger can actually be good in a way where it brings up a certain issue in the relationship that both of you needs to be talking about, and to be avoiding the issue, it actually will worsen the situation. So in terms of having an issue that arise the anger in you, actually will bring your attention to what is important in the relationship that you need to be looking at. Okay, so if you are jumping into conclusion too fast, or having a certain assumption that your partner may not be having the same kind of understanding, or having the same kind of views with you in that on that matter, and you feel like you can't agree on the same thing, this is where it is a good opportunity to be talking about it, right? Instead of just looking past it. I know the conversation is going to be very difficult, so that is why it is important for you to be calm and be objective when you are looking at issues that you know that may be on that you and your partner may be on a different side, or you and another person, a co-worker, it may be your boss, it may be someone in a family, right? So to be looking at the issue with objective, because if not, you will be thinking, you will be more on the defensive side, like you will be fearful, or you will feel that you are being threatened, so all these negative emotions are over there. So it may be due to sadness, it may be due to fear. Most of the time, sadness and fear are what is causing you to have the anger in you, because you may have expectation of a certain kind of uh, reaction, or certain kind of result that you want. So example, you may be getting dinner for your partner, right? And then your partner actually says like, this is not what I want for dinner. Like, he may be expressing in a certain, or he or she may be expressing in a certain way that you feel that he or she is not appreciating your effort, right? So it is a certain kind of expectation that you are not getting, a certain kind of expectation of reaction that you're not getting from your partner, that causes this kind of negative emotion in you. So it may be something, an incident simple as that, or it may be an issue that is happened over and over and over again. It may be something that is close to your heart, right? Like something that is very close to your heart, and you want to be doing it, but your partner doesn't share the same views. He or she may be worried, you never know. So if you are facing something like that, be open. I want you to be, hopefully you can be keeping an open mind and have an objective conversation with your partner about this. That is the first thing that arises anger in the relationship, right? It's due to you having a quick conclusion, jumping to conclusion too quickly, or having certain kind of assumption too quickly without having a conversation with your partner. So the second reason why anger may arise in you, it is because of control, right? There may be a certain result that you are not able to control that happen. Okay, so because of that, why is it happening? Why is it not within the expectation, or why is it not within your control? So if it's something that you are able to to pre-handle or preempt or know that a certain kind of outcome may happen if you don't handle it correctly, then there needs to be some communication with the person that you are coordinating this event with. Okay, so this is where you need to be looking at if everything is already being pre-planned and pre-controlled, I would say beforehand things are already planned and to make sure that things don't go wrong. At the end of the day, if it's done properly and things still go wrong, it is just life, right? So you don't have to be being so uptight about how certain things have to turn out in a certain way, because a lot of times we are not able to see the effects or the results of what is happening at that point in time. It may happen in your favor, but it's just that you couldn't comprehend at that point in time. Okay, so I would say to be keeping an open mind in what is happening. Things may look bad at that point in time, but it may be of in your favor in the long term. Okay, so have an open mind. Don't that things doesn't have to be happening in the way that you want it to be. So that is the second thing. It's about control. Okay, so keep an open mind on that. And in relationships, if you're jumping into conclusion too fast, having assumptions too fast, that is where you can have a kind of anger that arises in you. Second thing is where you want things to turn out in a certain way. So if you are experiencing this in a relationship, I want you guys to be commenting in the comments below on if you have any experience about what you are facing in your relationship right now that is causing this emotion of anger in you. Okay, and moving forward, look at it in terms of more of a self-inquiry state, other than expressing your anger upfront to your partner or to your co-worker or to someone in your family, okay, to your loved ones. So before you express your frustration, your anger that is happening in you upfront, try to look at it in a more to hold back first, to look at it in a more self-inquiry way, to actually understand what is going on before you actually react or act out your anger. Okay, so there's three things that you can look at is why you are feeling angry. Okay, the best way I do for myself is to write it down on a piece of paper, like write down the question, like why am I feeling angry at this point? Because like I feel angry because this person is making fun of me, right? I will actually write it down, like I feel angry because this person is not appreciative. I will write it down. I feel angry because I already told this person why this thing has to be done this way and that way, but this person is not listening to me. So I feel that this person is not respecting my views, not respecting my choice. So I would actually write all of this down. Okay, and when I look at it, this is my feelings, but I haven't actually talked to the person about it, right? And because if I were to be feeling this, I may be right at that moment, but if I were to express it out in the anger, in a way of anger, that person will actually be defensive, right? Because all these things that person wouldn't know. We wouldn't know what is going on when a certain issue is happening. So I would say to write all these emotions down first, write all these thoughts down first, and ask yourself, it is true. And the second thing that you can be doing is write why is that person doing the things that he or she may be doing at that point in time. Why he or she is saying that. Okay? And most of the time you will know that you wouldn't know why. Why is the person taking this action or saying that? It is all in your assumptions that you think why. So ask the person the question, why are you doing this, in a very calm tone, because that is only with a calm tone, with an objective view, you can actually express it like, I'm actually not happy right now but I want to know why you are doing it this way. So with a calm tone, you keep your energy to yourself and not throw your anger energy over, and both of you will be talking about it in a very objective way. So it's not easy. I have to tell you, it's not easy. It took me a long time to actually calm my own anger and not be passive aggressive, not be sarcastic, and not be, throwing my anger up front, even though I don't express it in a very loud way, but the other person can actually feel it, right? So ask yourself, why are you angry? Ask the other person, why is this thing happening? Like, okay. So with this, actually, I want you to be looking at the issue in an objective way and as a team. So when you ask these questions, the second thing that you have to keep in mind and to help you in your relationship is that you have a common goal in both for both of you, okay, the people that are involved in the situation, to have a common goal. Why do I say that? It's because when both of you don't have a common goal, you actually wouldn't be able to come to a consensus or have come to a certain agreement at all, okay? And usually, even though you guys don't want this, you might not want the same outcome, but most of the time, both of you would actually want things to work out well, right? So to for things to work out well in both your favor, there actually needs to be a solution, a plan. Okay, it may be you may be needing to look at what the other person is feeling, what the other person is. You may be neglecting what the other person is feeling. That is why things are happening over and over again, and that's why he or she is also neglecting your feelings at this point, because the other person's needs are actually not met, right? It can be, you can see it at work, you can see it in your family, you can see it in your relationships, right? What are the needs that are not met? And for both of you to be telling each other all the time, like the needs, telling each other all the time in terms of the defensive way, or calling each other out, it's not gonna solve the issue. Okay, to be hearing out what each other need and to be giving each other what each other need is ultimately what will solve the problem, what will solve the issue. And most of the time you'll be surprised that the other person is willing to cooperate with you more than anything. Okay, as long as you're giving that person what he or she wants, what he or she needs, in the same kind of intention that both of you want to be working the relationship out, want to be having the same goal, and want to be working together as a team. So that is the main point, right? If you find that both of you have different intentions, I hope that is not the case. Then if both of you have different intention as to only one person wants to benefit out in this relationship, then I think that is a second question that you need to be asking yourself, whether this relationship is worth for you to be working things out with this person. Okay, right? So but I would say, if most of the time, if you are having the right intentions for the person, it's like, I want you to be happy, and the other person would actually want you to be happy as well. Like, if you express it that's this way and you truly mean it, that I want you to be happy, so I don't want us to be always quarreling. Is there a way that we can work this out? Like, if you are expressing yourself this way in terms of your intention, most of the time you guys will come to a conclusion. Okay, so if you cannot be coming into conclusion and you are always quarreling, comment in the put it in the comments below, and we'll look at it together. Okay, so when you are at this point in time, and you will come to my third point, at a stage where, what is the solution, what is the plan, and both of you will brainstorm a plan together to move forward, right? So this is how you can actually manage your own anger, manage anger in a relationship, and how both of you can use it to actually overcome the problems that you are facing in the relationships, right? It's actually a good opportunity to express yourself in terms of what you need and you think that the other person couldn't hear. And it's also a good opportunity to be hearing out what your partner needs, okay? Your boss, your co-worker, and a family member, your siblings, your parents, like what do they need that you are not seeing? And this is also for you to find out, okay? So this is how you build a good relationship, and this is how anger can actually stop occurring over and over again over the same issues, right? Now, remember the first thing that I shared with you about the quote that Aristotle mentioned? So this is why I actually am inspired to do uh, this live Facebook live with you. So I'm going to repeat again Aristotle's quote because this is something that gave me a new light to anger. So what Aristotle say is actually anybody can become angry, right? That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, and at the right time, for the right purpose, in the right way, that is not within everybody's power. And that is not easy. So if you are able to work out things that in your relationship that help you to solve your anger, you actually will be understanding how to use anger in the right way. Now, when Aristotle says this, is actually he wants to be using anger in a good way. Okay, so that is it was very enlightening for me because I always avoided anger, and to be seeing this quote, it actually made me think twice that yes, anger really can be applied in a good way. How so? So anger can be applied in a good way when you actually feel that you want to be standing up for something. It can be standing up for yourself, to be standing up against a bully, standing up for a cause, okay? That you think that you need to be making a stand and telling people that this is the right way to do this. So when you are having this kind of emotions, anger actually trigger you to make a positive change. It can be for other people, for yourself, it can be for the betterment of mankind, right? So if you find yourself having this anger and seeing yourself using it as a fuel to help you make a change for the better, this is where anger is actually applied correctly. Okay, this is where I wasn't able to see before, but Aristotle actually say it, and he appreciates anger in that certain way, right? And he wants to be using it and applying it in the right way. It can be, you know, it he says to apply to use anger to the right person through the right person. So most of the time when we have anger, we actually express it to the person that we think is causing us the negative feelings, right? So are we expressing anger in the right person? Like, why is this person not able to do things that the way we want, or why is this person not able to have the result that we want, or that person is wants? So are we even expressing anger to the right things, right? So this is where Aristotle actually made me stop and have a second thought, like why are we expressing anger, and if it's to the right person or not, and if this person is causing us the negative emotion, or is it something within us that we can't solve, that we are expressing this anger to the other person and expecting the other person to solve some problems that is deep rooted within us, right? So that is a question to think about. Okay, and to express anger in the right degree, like wow, you know over just now earlier on in the when I started this, when I talk about what is anger, anger can actually be a mild form of irritation to a trigger in you that you feel like you want to be expressing yourself in a certain way or making a very firm stand, or it can be up to an extreme degree of resentment, where you have an outburst, rage, and become very violent, right? You can be hitting things, you can be throwing things around, or even injuring another person. So what is the anger to the right degree? Of course, the extreme one is not what we want to be seeing, because we are actually seeing a lot of angry people um, expressing themselves this way. Is where they can't control the anger. The anger emotions are actually overtaken them, right? So that is not where we want to be seeing. And to be expressing it at the right time, with the right purpose, in the right way. In the right way. So it is still very new for me. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about anger, about what Aristotle has said. And I want to be exploring these emotions more, because I know that even for myself, I struggled with anger issues. Okay, I become passive aggressive, but that is the best I can do for anger, right? But after I learned meditation, I actually stopped looking at anger. But I know that there are some things that are underlying that I need to be exploring more about. And I want you guys to also have the kind of um, mindset towards your own anger issues, to be looking deep within, okay? Because if you are not looking at it, you may be burying these emotions deep inside you, and it may be becoming like a suppressed emotion. You may be having self blame, you may be having self frustration or self inflicted anger, right? Because you have to know, anger, this emotion, is actually arises inside within you, and the first person that is having is receiving this anger is actually yourself, and it may be causing a lot of health problems in you that you don't know, right? So this is really a form of self-care, is to look at anger and be honest and ask yourself, why are you feeling negative? Okay, when you are feeling negative and from a form of irritation onwards, you know that it is a form of anger. So I want you guys to be aware about this emotion of anger, and to write it down, comment in the comment section below. Drop me a message when you are feeling anger issues or having anger issues like that. Okay, so when you are applying anger in the right way, you actually will have it as a fuel, and that is the end goal that we want. Okay, to embrace your emotions. Anger is not always negative. That is one thing that I want you guys to know. Anger is not always negative, and it can be applied in the right way. So that is the best way we want to apply anger, in the right way, for the right purpose, okay, at the right time. Now, I want to also talk about something that is going to happen in time to come, because I want to be putting on together some training for you guys on Zoom. So it's training on how you can actually develop emotional stability. Okay, I know this is something that most of you have actually expressed interest to me when you watch my video training earlier on forgiveness. You actually talked to me about what is going on at home, what is going on in your relationship, and a lot of you actually express that you haven't been able to move on from a hurt that you experience in a relationship. Okay, it can be due to your past relationship, one of your ex cause you to be not to be able to move on with your life, right? You're still being stuck. You feel being stuck with an old relationship, and you want to be moving on, or you're not able to forgive someone that is close to you. It can be your parents, it can be an a past lover, it can be a very good friend that you have so much trust in, right? You're not able to forgive and move on, and all these issues that you're facing right now is actually having a lot of more in is actually having impact in your vibration, your energy that you carry yourself every day. Okay, because there is this thing that is anchoring you from your past, and you're not able to release this emotion. So I want to be putting training together for people like you who have expressed interest that you want to be building a strong emotional foundation, for so that you are able to attract the right people at work, attract the right lover that is coming to your life, and be able to mend broken relationships, right, with your family, with your siblings, and to be able to build successful, long-lasting relationships, okay, at work, in your new group of friends, and also in your family. This has a lot of importance, in your health, in terms of your mental health, your emotional health, and also to be able to achieve the successful self that you want to be. So I want to be putting training together, and this training together for you, and I want to be seeing who is interested in getting this training. Okay, so I'm looking at a class that is not more than 20 people, but at least there needs to be at least 12 people who are expressing an interest in it. So if you have an interest in this, and I want to be putting together this training for you, it's going to be a free training that is going to be upcoming in Zoom. So if there is interest, do let me know. PM me or drop in the comments. Okay, you can and yeah, and so from there on, I will know that yes, there is a certain kind of interest level in there, and I will be putting the training together for you guys. So let me know, share in the comments below, what do you think about the anger, and also that if you are interested in the training, you can drop your comment in the comment section as well. So that's it from me for today, and I hope that you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to PM me so that I can be addressing it in this group for further training and further content for you guys. Okay, that is all. Thank you.